So if you've got a Bible with you, turn to 2 Chronicles 26, and we'll look at that for just a little bit. This is part of yesterday's reading, 2 Chronicles 26, as we're overviewing some of these kings all over again. We saw them in, 1st and 2nd Kings. Now we see them in Chronicles. And as Mike talked about, there are a few interesting little tweaks and changes, different sets of emphases in Chronicles instead of in Kings. One thing that stays the same, unfortunately, is that in both accounts, you have some positives and you have some negatives. Sometimes the negatives are reduced. Sometimes the negatives are made shorter, but oftentimes Chronicles gives a more full account of every individual. And one of those is Uzziah. Uzziah is I would say he's a good king, or, well, at least he starts that way. In 2 Chronicles 26 and verse 3, he begins his reign at 16 years old. He reigns for 52 years, which makes him the second longest reigning king in the northern kingdom, or in the southern kingdom. He follows up Manasseh at 55 years. And Uzziah seems to do really well. In verse 4, he did what the Lord approved, just as his father Amaziah had done. That seems like a positive thing. In verse 5, he followed God. Zechariah taught him how to honor God. So that seems positive. And then you look through his records and through all the things he accomplishes, and it seems like God is with him. In verse 7 of chapter 26, God helped him in his campaigns against the Philistines and all these other groups. He's successful in war. In verse 9, he built and fortified towers, so he builds great fortifications. In verse 11, he has an army of skilled warriors. He's got many people to help defend the land. In verse 15, in Jerusalem, he made war machines carefully designed to shoot arrows and large stones from the towers and the corners of the walls. I don't know why that's so specifically said, but it's a fascinating picture, great defenses for Israel or for Judah during this time. And you see all these great things that Uzziah has accomplished. You see all this wonderful stuff that he's done, and you see that God has been with him every step of the way, granting him success. And so when you turn the corner in verse 16 and read the rest of his life story, it just makes it all the worse. Because it says, once he became powerful, his pride destroyed him. And he disobeyed the Lord, his God. And he entered the Lord's temple, and he offered incense on the incense altar. Uzziah starts humble. He starts young. He starts with some advisors that are pushing him towards righteousness, and he succeeds as long as he is faithful. But his faith leads to success, and his faith gives him these blessings, and his faith puts God on his side, so much so that he wins so often, and he does so well that he forgets his place and starts thinking he's more important than he really is. And so Uzziah is cursed. He tries to play the role of a priest. Kings were not supposed to play the role of priests. God casts him out as a leper, and he suffers for the rest of his life until he dies, apart from his kingdom and apart from all his accomplishments and apart from everything that he did before, because he was no longer faithful to his God. See, we human beings have this problem. Sometimes when we start doing well at something, sometimes when we have some success in whatever area of our life it's in, we start to think that we're pretty impressive. We start to think that maybe I'm really something, and we start to imagine that we have accomplished the great works that have gone on around us. But Uzziah forgot. It started even in the end of verse 5. As long as he followed the Lord, God caused him to succeed. It wasn't him. It wasn't his greatness in any way. It was his faith to God. That's what made him successful. God's been trying to tell human beings that from the very beginning. Right? In Genesis 1, mankind was created, and we were made how? We were made in the image of God. We were made to be faithful. We were made to stay with him. We were made to glorify him, to emulate him, and to look like him. Human greatness comes when someone emulates God. Uzziah forgot that. He tried to walk away from God. And so he's cursed because of it. If you find yourself at the point where you are successful and it seems like your life is going well, be careful, because it's very easy to slip and fall into that same trap. To think that you're the important one, to think that you're doing impressive things, to think that you're something that's very special. And it's easy to lose your focus on God and to walk away and forget that your job is not to be great for yourself. Your job is to be an image bearer of the Lord who put you here in the first place. So if there's anything we can do to help reaffirm that commitment, if there's anything we can do to turn you back around towards God, don't let yourself get off that path towards righteousness. We can help you if you want to. I'll be standing right here. Come talk to me as we all stand and sing this song.